Well, greeting once again, back at you. Gentleman Jim the Tailor, brother from Harlem, now with the high school education. Now the journey begins. Now I'm entering into the workforce with the high school education that I got from the High School of Fashion industry. When I went to see about jobs, they had a bunch of jobs. Oh, they had hundreds of jobs. But the ones that they mainly showed me were jobs in a factory. That's not what I trained for. But my mother told me, because remember I'm living at home with my mother, she told me just get in and get a start. I said, oh, I could do that. Now, like I told you, minimum wage was only $1 an hour. So if you work 40 hours, you got $40. I already knew what that system was because in high school, I had that co-op job in my senior year. Let me tell you about that job so that you'll understand better what I mean about working in the industry. Now remember, I'm a senior now. I'm going back a little. I'm a senior, and in your senior year, you can participate in a program called the co-op program. Now, what that is you work a week, you go to school a week. You work a week, you go to school a week. You had a partner. He went to school a week, and then he worked the opposite. So when one was in school, one was working. We worked the same job. So that's what that was about. So this was my first experience in really the workforce, even though I was still in school. But every other week I worked 40 hours. Got my little $40, got my little $32 take-home pay. But for a high schooler, that's a lot of money. And you appreciate it when there were no fast food restaurants that you could get a job like you can in today's world. So you didn't worry about it. So this job was at Gramercy Park, Max Udell's Gramercy Park. And because that's what it was, I got a chance to see how the garment industry operated. I got a chance, once again, I'm telling you this so you can kind of understand some of the foundation that was laid for me. Got a chance how to see how they cut. I got a chance to see how they manufacture the clothes. I got a chance to see how the shipping department ran. I got a chance to see a lot of things. And I met some very interesting people working for them. One of them was a gentleman named Izzy. He was a cutter, he was a master cutter. And like I said earlier, that these were people that came from Europe who kind of had a handle on a lot of things. And in this factory, needless to say, there's no air. The elevator wasn't a crank elevator, it was a chain elevator. You grab hold to the chain, you pull the chain in the car went up. There was no door on it. There was nothing. So my job was to take piece goods from one table to the next, and Izzy and the spreader would spread them. And I had to take, and those tables would be 100 yards long, or 100 feet long. And so that's 30 yards. So they would be that long, 100 feet long, and there might be 4 or 5 of them up there in the cut table. And if you had some fabric over here, you had to take it over there, then you had to do all of this. So back and forth we went, back and forth we went, back and forth. I watched them spread. I saw how they did that. I saw how they laid the patterns out, and he marked it. Because see, in high school, we didn't learn that part of it because this was industry now. This is a factory that I was working in when I got out of school, while I was in school. So I went downstairs to the floor below once he cut them, and I bundled the fabric, and I took it downstairs to where they do all the bundling, and then the sorting. I watched how they did the sorting. I watched how they prepared garments to be manufactured. And I was just amazed because, like I say, even in high school, they tell you about these things, but you got to be in the program to see them. And that's what the co-op program did. It gave the students an opportunity to go directly into the workforce, work a week, work every other week, get paid, see how it is to feel, oh, it's something when you get that first paycheck. You know, you never had $30 in your pocket at one time. No time, see? So that work experience I got then, okay? And I'm seeing how they operate in this. Then I would take the finished garments and I take them to another floor, and that was the shipping department. And I saw how they bundled them up and shipped them out over here and shipped them out over there. And I saw the ones that the guys on the street, you see them, they're rolling these rolling racks around with clothes on them. And they're going all through the Soho district. They deliver them over here, deliver them over there. Then these people in turn were taking shipping to their people. But I'm seeing all of this and I'm amazed. I'm saying, wow, and this is exciting to, at that particular time I was 17. And this is exciting to me. And I'm seeing this and oh man. And then me and my partner who, we worked the same job, we telling each other, well, what did you see? And I'm telling them what I saw. It's the same thing. But it was okay for us to be able to communicate with. So when he got his first check, because he started the week before me, he got his first check. Oh man, he came in, oh Mac, look, I got some money. Then the following week I could say that because now he broke. So he got to go another week before he got paid again. So we having a good time. And the other guys, they were in different co-op jobs. But everybody now in the seniors in high school, even the girls, this wasn't just the guys that were doing this, the girls too, they had those co-op jobs. So everybody got a little money. Now this is unusual because all your friends that are in these other high schools, they don't have any jobs. Because like I say, there was no fast food. So you appreciated that little $1 an hour job that you got. Now you're able to buy other things. I buy a watch. Heck, I ain't owned no watch till I bought me one when I was a kid. But if I wanted to go to the movies, I could go to the movies because I got some money. My other friends, they sitting around trying to figure out how they gonna get them some money. So these were the things that opened up to me when I was in high school, that work experience. Like I worked at Max Schudel's and they were 2 blocks from where the school originally was. And so my method of traveling back and forth to work and back and forth to the school was really identical because I had to be at school at 8 o'clock and I had to be to work at 8 o'clock. So when I looked up, I'm taking the same train to work. The difference is I'm getting out of school at 3. I'm getting off from Max Schudel's at 4. So I'm in the same mode, same old, but like I say, I didn't have to really break my routine. Some of the others, their job might have been crosstown or we were on the west side, their jobs might have been on the east side. So their method of traveling back and forth to work was different than their traveling to school because they lived in Queens and Brooklyn and the Bronx. Even though I lived in Manhattan, mine was kind of a straight shot. I could get on one subway train and come all the way down to where my job was and where my school was. Whereas if you lived in Brooklyn, usually the Brooklyn trains came in on a different level, then you had to take another train. And then some of those that lived in Queens lived way out on the island, they had to take a bus and a train, and then another train to get to either their job or their work. So mine really wasn't that bad. But that was kind of my first experience at working. But it was a factory. And I had prepared myself in school to be a tailor. But little did I know that reality would set in when it came to the segregation, even within the workplace. Even though, and I say even though, they paid you a decent wage, regardless, because you didn't stay, you might start at the minimum wage, but you weren't there very, very long, because the industry and the standard that the industry paid would kick in after you got your little bit of initial training. Then it wasn't like you were making $1 an hour no more. You could make $1.50, $2, depending on who you worked for and depending on, you know, what system you worked at. So I was blessed to have all of that, you know, before I finished high school and I went into the workplace, see. So when I tell you guys about the things that happened to me, this is a journey, but it's the journey that began the rest of my life. And it's a journey that's still going on. So when I bid you guys a farewell till the next time that you hear from me, this is how it was. This is how I lived. Growing up in New York, living in Harlem, took that high school diploma, which didn't mean nothing. The workforce didn't care. They just wanted to know, could you do the job? I took that, and that's why I'm so proud of the high school. And I made that become what I am now. I thank you once again for tuning in with me, because I'm going to tell you about that first job next time I talk to you. And I'm going to show you just how the world was living in New York then, and the stigma that they placed upon Harlem. It's not all that true in it. There's some things that were true, but that was everywhere. So, bidding you a favor.